believing that she was a sweet, charming person. The statement, pull the wool over your eyes, was started because of people like her from generations ago. Too bad it took me many years to realize she is never wrong and knows it all, too. At one of the family picnics, she was talking to my oldest sister. She proceeded to ask her if my other sister was the oldest because, "You look so young," she said to her as she baffled her with bull crap. She knew how to win support and get people to lean in her direction. Of course, my oldest sister would always tell me that my sister-in-law has never done anything wrong to her, so she could not side with me when I would try to get some understanding. "She has never done anything to me. She has always been so nice to me." The flying monkeys, enablers, were abundant. Chapter 15, call her perfect. There are none righteous, no, not one. Well, except for her. There was never a need for me to forgive her because she believes that she didn't do anything wrong to me. Her life and everything she does or ever did has been perfect. I now know she needs to consider her life perfect. We all know her life isn't perfect and never will be. She still believes that she has made no mistakes and she will turn it all around and on someone else before even considering admitting she has made a mistake. Or it'll be, maybe I did that, but it's because you did this, or you're that. You reacted like this, so you're the bad person. It still blows my mind that she has gone to the point of pathologically lying to keep that front going. I found out the very difficult way that you must never disagree with her opinion about her perfectness. When the family took a trip and had to share hotel rooms to keep the cost lower, she said she didn't mind sharing a room with her future mother-in-law. My mother-in-law, too. She didn't mind sharing the room with her future mother-in-law. She was so perfect and nice. I wouldn't have wanted to share a room with my mother-in-law, and I would say that out loud to my husband. I admired my sister-in-law, and idolized her. She was so nice, after all, and was perfect. The perfect liar. She did a phenomenal job at lying, and I understand why so many believe she is all that and a bag of chips. I did too at one time. Chapter 16. Call her an abuser. An abuser will never call it abuse. They believe they are justified to abuse anyone who is not living up to their standards and the beliefs that they are perfect. Once they gather all your history of hurts, neglect, trauma, and struggles with anything, they will add it up, store it, and they'll use it against you when they need to, forever. My struggle was with jealousy, and after many face-to-face conversations with her about my sister-in-law, and she knew how jealous I could about it to my sister-in-law. She knew how jealous I am and could be. I grew up the 10th child of parents who were no doubt sick of kids by the time I rolled along. My mom told me she wanted a boy, but when I was born, just another girl. They already had 6 girls before I came along. My mom even had a boy's name picked out for me, but I was not a boy, a girl. They named me after my Aunt Catherine. I told my sister-in-law how a few of my brother's wives were cheaters and how I trusted nobody and thought most couples ended up having some type of infidelity, some type of an affair happening a lot in their relationships. She soaked all this in like a sponge near a vat of liquid laundry soap. In one of our many get-togethers, we were sitting around the dinner table talking about the happenings of the day. My husband and his younger brother decided to go into the living room and watch some television. My sister-in-law and I kept talking at their dining room table. She mentioned that the lady that used to babysit for them had to quit. Our mother-in-law was now babysitting their baby. I thought nothing of it and wasn't concerned that our mother-in-law was now babysitting for them. She was wonderful, so it was fine. She kept talking about it like it was such a terrible thing that their original babysitter had to quit. She went on to mention that the babysitter's husband was jealous of my brother-in-law's and the babysitter's relationship, his wife and my brother-in-law. I screwed up big time by siding with the babysitter's husband by stating, if someone is that jealous, then that is what is the best thing to do. Then she picked up some plates while saying she was going to clean up the table and disappeared into her kitchen. Shortly after that, we said our goodbyes and left. My husband and I left their house. From that moment on, she was gaslighting. It started. Which I didn't put 2 and 2 together, because I admit for a while I did forget the conversation, but I remembered it 3 or maybe 5 months later. She must have believed I deserved it and kept it up for over 4 months. I forgot the conversation And in the meantime, I was accusing my husband of cheating on me with her. It felt so real. I had no solid evidence, but because of my childhood neglect, I believed it was happening. An affair between my husband and his younger brother's wife. One day sitting at my desk at work, my desk, I'm sorry. One day, while sitting at my desk at work, I had a flashback and remembered the conversation with my sister-in-law about the babysitter having to quit. Long story short, when I confronted her alone in the backyard of our mother-in-law's house and asked her if she was having an affair with my husband, she pretended to be someone angelic and stated that she does not even remember the babysitter conversation and would never ever have an affair with her own brother-in-law. I was naive and gullible, but now I know and understand that there are people that are pathological liars. So don't call her a narcissist, but you call her all of the things I mentioned in this informative book. No contact should and will remain. I know I will never, never trust her again. Chapter 17, Narcissistic Personality Disorder, NPD, which you all know what that is. And then Chapter 18, Complex Post-Traumatic Stress Disorder. And that's all this mental health issue which I have. It's a response to all the stuff that happened. That's Chapter 18. I go into that. And then Chapter 19. Let's see what it says. It's about me. I'm a highly sensitive person and I do feel things deeply. I sometimes have to leave a crowded room when I can feel people's emotions. Some might show up at the event fighting with a family member. Their anger is not directed at me, but I get the vibes of conflict and I want to run. That's flight. It's fight, flight, fawn. I forget them. Fight. I might have it in this chapter. You fight, you either argue and fight, you flight, you leave. Fawn, you just act like a deer. Or freeze, you just don't say anything. I've done that so many times. I used to want to fight after I was holding down emotions for months. When I started yelling, I would say 4-letter words, not rain either. And I would be accused of not acting right or maybe I'm nuts, And someone telling me to calm down did anything but calm me down. Saying calm down only added to my frustration about not being good enough or doing anything right. One of the many things that caused me to walk on eggshells was my mom getting home from work and seeing that we did not clean up the kitchen for her. The dishes were piled in the sink and none of the kettles or frying pans were washed, dried, or put away. We didn't own a dishwasher. We were my mom's dishwasher. When she walked into the kitchen and saw the mess, she would scream at the top of her lungs about how she told us to clean up the kitchen and why didn't we clean up the kitchen and get out here right now. It is strange to me, but to this very day I feel some sense of self-worth every time I have my dishes all done and put away. Thank God I have a dishwasher. Thank God, though, I do have a dishwasher at this time. I am 95% better, and I have accepted wholeheartedly that I will still have some issues until the day I die. Since I am highly sensitive, I'm an HSP, highly sensitive person, and I believe I was born with HSP. I ended up believing if I spoke up and or defended myself, I would not be loved. Of course, I did explode once in a while, but was quickly put in my place with words like, you are not acting right and you are acting crazy. Well into my adulthood, I believed that I would not be loved if I spoke up and defended myself or told someone what they did was wrong and hurt me. I often would write notes or paste information on headboards, only to get in trouble and be told to never do such things again. Scapegoat. Another thing that was said to me more times than I care to think about is, just get over it. No matter how I tried and was determined to just get over it, that never happened. I had to and I did just go through it. It is simple to nurture and validate yourself by self-talk and talk therapy, even talking to your dog about it, but prayer and meditation, and talking to yourself like a child, to your inner child, that it's okay. You're an okay child. You're doing okay. Simple is not always easy, though, as I found out. I got through the intense disappointment that I was not my parents' ideal child and that I had to do for myself what was not done for me as an infant and young child. I used to freeze and then give in to the demands of anyone who told me what to do and how I should be doing better. I would freeze and be afraid to speak up and tell my husband that what felt good and what didn't in our early days of marriage. And also, as a kid, I was told I'm a brat and I'm bad, 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 and you'll never be able to do this and you'll never go here again. You can't go along, you're too young. And even though I was 2 years older than my sister that was a year and a half older than me, I still couldn't go along. A lot of times I couldn't sleep over because I wet the bed too. It was all put on me like I should be some kind of an adult at age 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I finally stopped wetting the bed when I was about 13, I think, after I got my period and went through puberty. And when, and finally I fawned and didn't say anything to my sister when she took the bridal picture and she took the bridal picture she liked for the newspaper to have published for my wedding day. I said nothing and did nothing for many years about this. I believed I couldn't speak up or I wouldn't be loved by her. Yes, mental health issues got in the way of having a healthy relationship with my sisters. I used the picture I wanted to be put in the newspaper for the cover of this book. She picked a different one, the one I was smiling that she liked better, but I wanted this one. She didn't do what I asked because I was in the hospital I had a miscarriage and was having a D&C. I lost the baby on January 5th and my wedding was January 13th. Yeah, that has a lot of mental health issue problems too. It broke me a lot. I was upset about that a lot. Blame myself for a lot of things. I blame myself for so many things. If you read my book, Who Took My Self-Esteem? Some people would, freedom, chapter 20, this is the last chapter. Freedom isn't free, but freedom from this. Some people would rather see you die than confess their accountability in anything. They will never apologize. They live with the idea that they do nothing wrong. As my sister-in-law said, even if I said and did the things you claim I did, it is not my fault that your marriage is so bad. I let go of the guilt and now know that there is no need to explain to anyone why I chose no contact with my sister-in-law. That is my husband's younger brother's wife. I nurture my healthy relationships. I forgive the enablers even if they are not sorry. I used to be so angry and hurt by my sisters who didn't believe me or understand me. I doubt they ever will understand. They can't and never will walk a mile in my shoes. I don't believe my sister-in-law's lies. I was a mental mess when she fooled me and possibly my husband. I still wonder at times if they did have an affair. I was searching for nurturing and believed she was the answer. I didn't know the truth, but I know it now. I will live accordingly. I ignored the red flags many times. Now when I see red flags, I stay away from the person or answer one-word answers. Yes, no, really, okay. Or I use the gray rock method, which means ignore their mind-screwing games as much as possible. Try to pay no attention to their antics. I know and understand why they are. I know and understand what they are up to. I am free to know that I am sometimes selfish and I want what I want. I am free because I know I have narcissistic patterns. We all do. And I must keep myself in check. I do not want to be a victim or a target for anyone. I am free to be me and love myself and others without loving the mistakes I make and nasty things I might do or say. I have said the following a time or two. There is a difference between doing and saying something because you misunderstood something and someone who knows and chooses to pathologically lie about it. That is on them and not me. I ask and they answer, and if they lie over and over and over again, that is on them. I am free to be me and give and get love from my family of origin without fearing that they will not love me if I defend myself or have a different opinion on any subject or matter, or the truth. I am free from the deep sorrow and cutting hurt that I used to feel about my relationship with my sister-in-law. The relationship was never real. She never loved me or even cared other than getting compliments to feed her ego. She was very cruel after my opinion wounded her. I believe she is a cruel and calculating person, and I know I will never get any empathy from her or her enablers about this. It seems monster-like to me. I will never be good enough, and I will always be an impossible task around her. So be it. She will always blame me and leave out what she did to me. I will never It will never be her actions, and she will never show accountability for her actions. I will always be the person at fault for everything. She is in the group. It's all about me, me, me. I am free to allow myself to have emotions. I am the queen of my emotions. I am in charge of my feelings and can have them, any emotion at all, and then react logically. I can and will cheer myself on and tell the inner critical voice that I hear sometimes when I was a young child and the words they said when I was young, they are not me. That is not me. I am free to tell others, no, I could not do that. And remember to have self-compassion and take care of myself and care about how I am doing in life. If the person is like the person I described in this book, I am free to have no contact with that person. I can be happy, smile, and say I won't be attending. I am free to heal, and so are they. I am doing okay. Like, you can cheer yourself on too. If there's voices, you can say, tell them to cheer me on and say, go get them, girl. You can do good. And like I said, this is going to be my last video for a long time, maybe forever. And yes, I get myself I'm still emotionally immature, that I'm a highly sensitive person. And when I think about it, and I read this book now, see the weeping, maybe I just need to cry like this clown is crying. And that's me at Halloween a couple years back. Just need a good cry mostly, but I am going to take a break. I'm not going to do videos, probably for a long time, a long, 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 long time. So I just wanted to get that book out. If anybody's dealing with someone that's all those things in the chapters of that book. And I hope you're having a wonderful day.